The Big 12 championship is tomorrow, and it could be another blowout, or it could be close. I mean, that's stating the obvious, but that really is good how it ended up. So I'm going to tell you why it's going to be like that one way. So, TCU plays Oklahoma again. This time, it's not in Norman. It's in Dallas. It's in the Cowboys Stadium, AT&T Stadium, whatever you want to call it. The reason it could be a blowout, Oklahoma's offense could just steamroll over TCU's defense, and TCU's offense could just go flat. Or this time, TCU's offense could make it competitive with Oklahoma's offense and maybe expose Oklahoma's defense a little bit. So the scenario, obvious. Oklahoma wins, they're into the playoff. Oklahoma loses, they're out. If TCU wins, they're unlikely to make the playoff just because they're so far back in the rankings. I don't think they have a strong enough schedule outside of conference play, and they don't really have enough quality wins. So that's a playoff situation for the Big 12. Oklahoma has to win to make it in for the Big 12. If Oklahoma doesn't win, it would take a miracle for TCU to get into the playoff. So, obviously, Baker Mayfield, Rodney Anderson has been surprisingly good this season. I didn't know anything about him before the season, and he's had a pretty good year, a very good year. He had 13 rushes for 118 yards last week and 4 touchdowns. That's pretty good. Mayfield, obviously, Heisman favorite, over 4,000 yards passing, 37 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Oklahoma is the most efficient offense in the country. Their numbers are even more crazy, almost averaging 600 yards a game. They are averaging 45 points a game. 45 points a game. You think about that. That's insane. They scored 45 points in the first half last week. That's 6 touchdowns and a field goal. So if you don't think that's impressive, then you must put like college players against third graders and they must score like 90 on them, and you think that's just normal. I don't know how you would think that's not impressive. That's crazy. I really don't know what to say because TCU's defense is better than Oklahoma's defense, as I said a couple weeks ago. But Oklahoma's offense, obviously best in the nation, so they are better than TCU's offense. But I think TCU keeps it closer this time because they got embarrassed in Norman their last time they played. I think they're going to have a little bit – this time it's a little bit more to play for. So I think that will kind of push TCU to avenge the loss from earlier this year. But Oklahoma is a better team. They have a better offense. Their offense just moves the ball too much, too well to lose. And TCU's defense just isn't good enough to stop it. Oklahoma's defense may slip up a couple times, but their offense is still going to make up for it because Mayfield can make plays. He can move around, get the ball downfield. Rodney Anderson can run the ball. He can slip out and just make himself known as a receiver too, which is just another threat of his play. Because if he can get out, it forces them to cover him, and if they cover him, Mayfield can run, or it can open up another receiver. So, I mean, the offense is just freakishly unstoppable. It's scary. So, I think Oklahoma is a better team. Their offense is too much for them, as I said. So I think Oklahoma is going to win this one 45-34. So more competitive game this time, but Oklahoma walking away with the Big 12 championship and a playoff berth, most likely. So that's all I got. Other championship games this weekend. I'm just going to look at it real quick and then just kind of say. Power 5, I think Auburn is going to beat Georgia, Clemson over Miami, and most people think Ohio State's going to beat Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin is something to play for. I'm going to call it right now. Wisconsin is going to beat Ohio State. So that's what I got for the Big 12 preview and then just some other conference things. Yeah. That's it. And then the Pac-12 championship's going on right now. I'm just going to throw that in there real quick. USC's up 17-14. Stanford just scored. So it's almost halftime of that game. That's got to be interesting. But I'll probably mention that in tomorrow's video as well.